Everybody, Nathan here with MLO Force and Beta VA, as you know. Hey, I wanted to talk real quick about this FHA mortgagee letter that came out late last week, kind of under the radar. Housing Wire did a great article on it, but it's going to impact all of us in a pretty dynamic way because HUD now wants to be in your business if there's a cyber incident. So, with me right now is our friends at Goliath Cyber Security, Andrew and Tim. Guys, take it away. Introduce yourself, but also what in the world is this going to do to our industry?
Sure. Thank you. My name is Andrew Bracuda. I am the COO and also head of all the delivery for Goliath Cyber Security. Worked in the mortgage industry a few years as a security director, and I think remember the last thing we wanted is to have government involved. Well, guess what? Here we are. Tim?
Yeah, I am Tim from Goliath Cyber, working with Nate and MLO Force and going in that direction. But we saw this last week, and I can't think of anything worse than having the government come in and watch over your shoulder, either before or after an incident. So,
Right.
yeah, I can't think it slows us down more.
It was crazy because, in light of the cyber incidents that happened at the end of 2023, now we have CFPB, HUD, everybody's looking at this going, next time there's an incident, what's at loss? What's potentially going to be the biggest harm? And so they put out this letter, and Andrew, you did a great blog post that people need to go read on Goliath Cyber Security's website. But really, like, if there's an incident, HUD needs to know several factors about your cyber incident when you email these two addresses, right? So if there's a break, they want a reporting, and when you do that, they need to know the who, what, when, why, where, how, what else, what other. They want the name of the mortgagee. They want the mortgagee ID number. They want the name, email, phone number of mortgagee security operations center, person responsible for the security.
Right.
They want the cyber incident description, including date of incident, cause of incident, impact to personal identifiable information, the impact to login credentials, the impact to the systems affected by the cyber incident, were any subsidiaries of parent companies affected,
Right.
current status of the incident response taken, and were law enforcement agencies involved or notified. And I will tell you what, as a small business broker operator, this would be crushing if I didn't have a relationship with you guys. Even then, I still am pretty sure this would suck. So what in the world's happening here?
So very simply put, the government is now concerned about three things in the security space. And this is the big tenets of security, right? Confidentiality, that the information and the data, the transactions are secured, the integrity of that data. So how it was handled, are you storing it properly? Are you transporting it? Are you sending it appropriately? Hint, Skype and all these other instant messaging is not the place to put security numbers. I had to deal with that many, many years ago. The availability of that information and how you're handling that. It really comes down to those three things. And a cyber incident, we really have to understand that is two things. One, it's a successful attack, meaning something with your computer, something with your server, your cloud, even your mobile. We sometimes forget about our mobile devices, but if any of that information from our clients gets in the hands or can be stolen away, manipulated, or turned off, that's a cyber incident. What it's not is if things are working correctly and you have the appropriate tools, the appropriate type of monitoring in place, and it's being blocked, that's a good thing. That's a good day in security when things are being blocked appropriately. But the bad stuff is what the government's really involved with, the successful attacks. And then when you get one, you have 12 hours to report it. That's not a lot of time.
So that's a lift on monitoring, right? Your monitoring on your cyber potential threats has to be running 24/7, and there has to be at least something happening. None of the good stuff, or I should say the really bad stuff, never seems to happen when I'm awake, right? It's usually when I'm asleep or in the hours that I'm not paying attention. So
Yeah.
so it's a trick. It's not 12 hours in the day, it's 12 hours from the time of the incident.
Well, you're correct. And that means that your traditional tools, if we look at tools like antivirus, yeah, that was good for 10, 12 years ago. But today, the government wants you to monitor that. They want you to be able to have eyes and hands on the appropriate computer systems or the appropriate responses to be able to clamp down on it immediately or as quickly as possible, because that's called dwell time. The amount of time you know about it and you took action. And they're trying to reduce that so that there's less of an impact, less clients have to be notified, and you don't have to send out those nasty letters saying, hey, we had a breach. Sorry about that, but I'll give you a year's worth of monitoring. You've lost business. You lost reputation.
Yep.
Tim put it.
Tim, what do we do about
it? A
it,
great
man?
analogy on the herd mentality. Tim, go ahead and
Yeah, no, and listen, for everybody listening, this is not a sales pitch, but this is something to just kind of help you frame it. Like, we were trying to think about this as we were talking about it, and a lot of times in business problems, we just try to stay ahead of the slowest gazelle in the pack, right? You're just running from one lion or a herd. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is an extinction level event, right? You're running away from the meteor. There's no place to run here. And so in that analogy, it doesn't matter what the company down the street is doing and you're not, and like, maybe I'll get away with it. It's only a matter of time, right? And so to simplify that, Nathan, off the question you asked, kind of simplify that, they're going to come in, they're going to look at what you're doing is important, when you started doing it, how you're doing it, but they're also going to look at who, Nathan, and other things we've talked about, GLBA and some other rules. You have to have a partner with it. Obviously, we can sit in there and help, but at this point, for those who are listening, like, wrap your head around that HUD is now your new partner in cybersecurity. So, like, don't be afraid of anybody else. You should really be afraid of HUD now being a part of your business if it wasn't already.
Oh wow. Okay. So we've got this to deal with. At the broker level, at the small shop level, I think it would be one thing to say, well, I don't finance loans, I'm not HUD-fied, I don't have to really care. The reality is this: when a change like this happens, it's showing the sign. It's moving. The wave, the iceberg, whatever you want to call it, is shifting. And it was only a matter of time before anybody who has an incident, if you are a servicer of loans, if you're a funder of loans, if you got your own lines, if you're a mini correspondent, look, the reality is, be well prepared today, because it costs a heck of a lot less to work on your defense before you have to go into offense and cure the actual issue, because that could be costly, and you could actually just lose your business and be out of work. So my recommendation, of course, is contact Goliath and just talk to these guys about this real quick, what your risk factors are, how well you are doing or not doing. And honestly, right, Andrew, Tim, you guys are super approachable, very easy to talk to, very easy. You don't make me feel stupid when I'm having these conversations, which is very helpful, because I want to, be knowledgeable. And that my business is in doing loans and education. It's not in cybersecurity. So get a partner, get a third-party partner that can help support you, that keeps you compliant in GLBA, that keeps you compliant. And then, frankly, God forbid something happens, when the city, the state, the county, the CFPB, HUD, and whoever else is coming to knock in, at least you got somebody on your side in the ring with you in the corner as you get ready to fight.
Exactly. Thank you, Nate.
All right, guys. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the quick call.
Appreciate it.